Hello everyone, welcome to our lecture recap for lecture 12 of CIMA P3 Performance Strategy. This lecture is on information strategy. First aspect we looked at, developing our information strategy. Remember that we had to think about our corporate strategy first of all. We had to consider both the objectives of our corporate strategy and the goals, and try to develop our information strategy to fit in with our corporate strategy. We also had to consider our critical success factors. These are things that must go right if we are going to achieve our objectives. Different types of critical success factor. Monitoring, this is monitoring the day-to-day running of the business. And building, this is change management, critical success factors for change. So sources of these, well, we may look at industry standards. We may look at the entity's position within the industry when we're setting our critical success factors. We'll see the environment in which we operate. And there may be organisational factors which will affect us. These will tend to be short-term, such as an oversupply of inventory. That would be a short-term organisational factor that we need to take into account. We also then need to measure our critical success factors. To do this, we'll set objectives. Those objectives must be SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time constrained. So that's developing our information strategy. What are the components then of our information strategy? Well, there are three things we need to look at. The first thing, information systems strategy. This is basically the organisation of the information system within the entity. How information is gathered and distributed throughout the organisation. Remember that information must be acquired, it must be retained, it must then be shared, and it should be available to all the users who need it within the organisation. So the information strategy system will tell us what do we need in terms of information and where are we going to get it. So that's our information systems strategy. The second element is our information technology strategy. This assesses our IT needs. Things like system networks, the hardware, the software within the business. The aims of our IT strategy are to provide solutions. We need to say what is available in terms of IT to make the business more efficient, and what suits the business, i.e. is it suitable, should the business be implementing it. So that's our information technology strategy. The third element was our information management strategy. Remember, the aims of our information management strategy were to integrate the information system and IT. So it's the organisation of IT and the control. This concerns things such as your database, data warehousing, backups, data security, and archiving. All these will be concerned with the information management strategy. So those are the three components of information strategy: information systems strategy, information technology strategy, and information management strategy. The benefits then of an information system or an information strategy. Well, goal congruence. Remember, we talked about this with the agency problem. We've got to make sure that the information systems objectives are in line with our corporate objectives, and that's why we look at those when we're developing our information strategy. It also helps us to gain competitive advantage. We want to create competitive advantage, and we want to then sustain it. It will also ensure that there's focused expenditure. Having a clear strategy enables us to focus our expenditure in key areas. It also means that we can exploit IT developments. If we're aware of the developments, we can then exploit them at the correct time, which may not necessarily be as soon as they come out. So those are the benefits of information strategy. So how do we approach an exam question in this topic? Well, generally it'll be an evaluation of an information strategy. So how are we going to do that? Well, the first thing we'll do is we'll identify the objectives and the critical success factors. We'll identify the risk management objectives. We'll identify the key information requirements, i.e. what information do we actually need. We then need to see, is the current information adequate for the needs of the organisation? We may then want to suggest alternative strategies and set out what benefits these will give to the organisation. We will then make an assessment of the current IT strategy, assess the current information management strategy, and evaluate the control of information throughout the organisation. The key thing to remember here is to relate everything to the scenario, and that is our lecture on information strategy.